All right. Welcome to episode 5 of Is This a Podcast? So today I have with me Nick Johnson, the host of the Gag on This podcast.
What?
How are you doing today, Nick?
I am doing spectacular. How are you, sir? How was your shower?
Oh, it was great. Got off work, I worked pretty hard today, I guess, but got off work, took a nice long shower, and I'm ready to record a podcast.
Do you have a green screen?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, I do.
you lucky fuck.
Yeah, I figured I'd get it. I was just like, hey, I'm gonna get a green screen. And I got it like a long time ago and never really used it. And I was like, you know what? I have all this stuff to do this. I've started with, live streaming, and now I decided, fuck it, I'm gonna do a podcast.
Yeah, you got to get better games, bro.
I've been playing Warzone,
Oh, have you?
Call of Duty Warzone, man. I've been on that, dude. Yeah, do you play that?
No, I got the new Predator game though. I've been fucking playing that.
What's that like?
It's good. I don't know if it's the same with Call of Duty, but the servers are really fucked up. Like to be Predator, you'd have to wait 5 minutes to play.
So it's multiplayer, I guess. Is it one of those games where like one person's the predator and he's like OP, and then a group of people like hunt down the predator and try to kill him or some shit?
Yeah. Do you remember the game Friday the 13th?
I never played it, but I remember seeing like a video trailer of it. It's like the one where one person plays as Jason and goes and hunts down the kid. There's another game called Evolve where you get to be like some crazy monster and kill people too. I guess that
Yeah.
that genre of game's popular now. But yeah,
Well,
that's
I'm just waiting because for Friday the 13th, they came out with a story mode because they got so much shit. So
yeah.
hopefully, since it's by the same studio, we'll get, a story mode eventually.
That's very interesting. I did not know that that game exists. I may have to look into that.
It's worth I think it was only $40. Certainly
That's not
worth it.
too bad. I mean, is it in beta or early access or whatever?
No, it's officially released.
Oh, okay. I know a lot of games nowadays are doing the whole early access thing where basically you pay to beta test the game. But yeah. Anyway, what I was wanting to ask you about first is, speaking of podcasts, you're the host of the Gag on This podcast. So what was it that, made you want to start your podcast?
So I do some radio on the side, and one reason I started the podcast was because I needed to get my name out there more and needed to work on audio editing, work on the knowledge that comes with radio. I was friends. You met Jerron, one of
Yeah.
our former co-hosts. He
Yeah.
works in radio.
Okay.
We talked about it. And what's funny is you've seen Gag on This evolve from
Yeah.
me and Jerron and Rob to me, Rob, and Danny. Originally, it was just supposed to be me and Jerron.
Yeah.
And then Rob just sort of pulled a Danny and fucking stayed on.
Just came in as a guest and kind of never left.
Yeah, and then Jerron wanted to do acting. But what's cool about the podcast is we can say whatever the fuck we want and do whatever we want. Plus, one thing too is I wanted to get the name of the Sacramento comedy scene out there a little bit more because it is very underrated. So I figured there's always going to be comedians, people doing open mics, so it's just going to be a slew of guests forever.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, hell, that's how you and I met, buddy.
Oh yeah, exactly that. And I have to say that it was on your podcast where I like 100% decided that comedy is what I want to do, because I was like, if I get to do cool shit like this and just hang out and talk with people, yeah, I want to do this.
Well,
So yeah.
you were great. I mean, I remember they were like, I forgot who was on, but they wanted Morty on, and I was like, no, let's get this guy up here.
It was Asia May, because Danny had those tickets to the Pink concert and couldn't go and gave them to Asia May, and she went instead. So she left early, and it was my first time at Blacktop, so I had came up there, and I remember because I sat outside on the couch because I didn't want to disturb y'all because I didn't know it was cool to come in. and I just remember hearing y'all talking about weird shit, like, oh, some weird sex shit. That's all I know. But yeah, then I talked to you outside. And you asked me to be on the podcast, and here we are today.
Yeah, thank God we went with you because you are a fucking character, dude.
Thanks. Yeah, I try to be. I don't like to be. Being normal's boring. It's
Well,
boring.
and I find it very hard to find someone with such a thick accent like yours that does not have a story.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, sometimes when I listen to my voice, I don't really hear it all that much because it's my voice. But I guess it's really thick for other
Do we have
people.
an accent? Do we have a California accent?
Um, Not really. I mean, because most people, like in movies, a lot of people are from California that do acting and shit like that, and a lot of people use their just regular voices. That I guess maybe that's something that you're used to hearing being from the South. I don't
Hmm.
know. That's just my take on it. That's my hot take on it. Yeah. But yeah, the gag on this podcast, man, you should definitely check it out. You mentioned radio. That's actually something else that I wanted to talk to you a little bit about. Like you working in radio. I mean, what are you actually doing in radio?
Yeah, so I am the midday personality for it's a radio station that's located in Gainesville, Florida, but it's also online. It's called Play FM. I do the 10 a.m. to 2 shift Monday through Friday.
Okay, and it's actually live.
No, this may come to a shock to most people, but the majority of radio now is pre-recorded. If you have a Sirius XM satellite, all those shifts are pre-recorded. They do it at their home, like I do. The only there's maybe 4 or 5 live people currently, but you'll get people like when I worked at Entercom, the midday guy there would record for a station in Seattle and then would record for a station in St. Louis.
Huh.
But you have to sound, like you're local.
That's odd that they would. Well, I mean, I know some places there's probably people that have hosts that don't have to do that. Or is that just like a stipulation of the radio station? Is that like you have to sound like if you were doing one in the South, which you do yours in Florida, but I guess Florida's part of the South, but it's not because there's all
It's
different kinds of accents in
it's
Florida.
like the cousin. Yeah, it's such a melting pot of just
Yeah, it's like a
yeah.
transplant state because it's like the East Coast, pretty much the closest you're going to get to California on the East Coast. All I can say is like California, except way more humid, possibly, because it's pretty tropical climate in some areas. But yeah,
Yeah. But I mean it's not necessarily a given that you have to sound local, but that's one thing they stipulate. And that's how radio's going simply because it's cheaper. Instead of hiring 3 people to do 3 live shifts in a different spot, you hire one guy to do a live shift in one spot and then pre-record in 2.
and just change it up for each spot. Just get the local news and read that stuff, man. Like you never would have thought that. Well, I know that the some of the stuff was pre-recorded because I've hung out with Danny and she's did some of the spots, I guess, for the station that you do, like
Yeah.
the little, I don't know what they're called, advertisements or whatever.
Or just the spots in between, like this is Play FM and now here's Chevelle or some shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but it's it's a sort of a ends to a means because you're going to be hard pressed to find any station that will hire an overnight guy anymore. Those jobs
Yeah.
just don't exist. So if anybody wants to get into radio, look for an internet radio station or an LP, which is a low powered station.
Hmm.
You can do it from your home. That gives you the experience. It gives you air checks. It also you're also you're working with someone that actually is getting paid by a radio station to do it, so they have worked in radio, so they'll give you pointers, and they'll help you out.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean it's fun. The only weird thing is when I first got into it, I'm not a huge like top 40 fan,
Yeah.
but as it's gone on I really do love top 40. But there is different ways of talking on the radio. Like if you're talking
Hmm.
on rock, my voice currently is a rock voice, like no over modulation. But if you're on top 40, you got to talk like this.
You got to be excited and like,
Yes.
oh, we're having a good time. Poppy, happy music.
Yeah.
Okay. What about a country station though? I mean, I've listened to country music because I'm from the South. I particularly hate it.
With
I guess it was.
country, the weird thing with country is because I've applied to a bunch of country stations, and they're one of the few radio stations where it's like, no, you have to like country, you have to live the country life in order to be on the air.
I mean, I could kind of believe that. I guess that sounds like some redneck shit.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you and I, like, if you're a listener and I'm like, yeah, so I was hunting the other day and I bagged this pig. Like, does that even sound believable?
No.
Exactly.
No. I hear you. Which did you like better? You said you did rock and top 40 or just the top 40s?
I did classic rock for a little over a year, and then I've been
Mm-hmm.
doing this station for a little over a year. The classic rock was, I mean, it was fine because I didn't have to, over modulate or anything. I like top 40 because it's helped me
Yeah.
develop a radio personality. It's also helped me because the weird thing is, like, you and I, we're looking at a screen, right?
Yeah.
You're doing this just out into the ether. So you're just yelling into
Yeah.
a mic and you have to act like you're excited and act like you're talking to a person. Like, for a long time, I have a picture of my parents and my fiance up on the mantle.
Mm-hmm.
I would look at them when I did my breaks, like I was talking to a person. Top 40 helped me with that. With classic rock, I could be looking at the ground, just be like, so that was Led Zeppelin on 96.9 The Eagle. Right now we got Aerosmith.
Okay.
Versus me trying to have like a conversation with someone. It's weird. Even Danny, I don't know if you've had Danny on, but if you have her on,
Yeah.
bring her on and ask her about that, because yeah, she was like, how do you, it's so weird to do. And I'm like, it is. You get used to it though.
Yeah. Okay, that was very, very interesting. I never knew some of that stuff about radio. That was very informative. Let's go
Yeah.
ahead and move on to something else.
By the way, what headset you got?
This is a Corsair gaming headset.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Is it? It looks wireless, right?
Yeah, it's wireless. Wireless Bluetooth.
That's got some pretty good sound on it.
Yeah, it sounds pretty good. But what I've noticed with Zoom, the sound quality on Zoom is amazing, because I was gonna try to record through my streaming software and it doesn't sound anywhere near as good.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what what the person's actually using. Like, if they're using a headset, or on one of our episodes, we had Stephen Fury who was using his phone microphone,
Oh,
and you can tell it's like, oh, just get a mic, please.
yeah. I had a episode where somebody was doing that on their phone and you could hear like stuff banging every now and again and whatnot, but
Oh, yeah.
it was
Welcome
still
to the
fun.
world. Welcome to the world of podcasts, buddy. You'll be, every time that happens on my podcast, I'm just like, fuck, that's an edit.
Yeah. I don't even think about that, but sometimes I'll kind of make mental notes of editing and stuff like that, because yeah, I like to try to edit as soon as I'm done with an episode. It's just like get into editing.
What do you use, Audacity?
I actually use DaVinci Resolve 16.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it works pretty good. You put some effects and stuff in there like that. And I mean, everything I learned about it, YouTube videos. That's the only reason I know how to do any of this stuff.
Oh yeah, dude. Photoshop, I learned from the series You Suck at Photoshop. It's like 14 different things, but it's all 2-minute clips, and he's just, first of all, he's funny, and then yeah, he tells you what to do, and that's, YouTube has everything. I mean, you could probably learn how to make a bomb on YouTube.
You can learn how to make Mentos bombs. There's plenty of videos of people dropping Mentos and Diet Pepsi. Okay, I was gonna move on to the next topic.
Yes.
Correct. Okay. Now there's a few more. I have like 6 topics. We've went through 2. And I want to move on to this one. This one's one I've asked everyone that I've had on the show. So, are there any crazy or out there drug experiences that you've had in your
Yeah.
life, like memorable, crazy stuff? Just share with us one. I love to hear about people's crazy experiences on drugs
I
or
mean,
alcohol, either one.
no, I mean, mushrooms. That I have one experience in particular where we we got the mushrooms and then we went to Carl's Jr.
Oh,
and for a while there they had like $2 off coupons, and we found out that they stopped it early, and I think it's because of us because we stole easily like a stack that thick of them, and we found out the last three numbers are always 904, so you could put whatever numbers you wanted it as long as it ended in 904. So since we had a bunch of those coupons, we went to Carl's Jr. I got a spicy chicken with extra buffalo sauce on it,
uh huh.
and you put the mushrooms in the sandwich, and you eat it because mushrooms taste like fucking feet.
Yeah.
And I had three of those. So then we end up going to this fucking random lot, and the guy who was supposed to babysitting me ended up getting drunk. He left us. So I'm freaking out because first of all, we're alone, we're tripping. The other guy I'm tripping with ends up walking off, and I see him and he falls into a river.
What
Like,
the fuck?
all right, not like a raging river, but like a creek that's like just
Okay.
not moving and full of
Yeah.
just shitty water.
Okay.
He falls in. I call my friend and I'm like, I lost him. His name was Easton. I was like, I lost Easton. I don't know what's going on. And my friend's drunk, so he's just like, and hangs up on me. So I'm freaking out even more. Finally, I guess he was with some of our friends. They drove by, picked us up, picked up Easton, who was covered in shitty water. We then went to the Taco Bell because they were hungry, and I remember my stomach kind of rumbling. So I go to the bathroom, and I found out that buffalo sauce tends to give me explosive diarrhea. So
Oh man.
I'm in the Taco Bell bathroom, peeking, just shitting my brains out. And I don't know why I did this, but I looked down to see, like what I produced,
Yeah.
and it was all red. So the first thing I thought was like, oh my God, I'm bleeding out my ass. I'm going to die.
That's oh man.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Oh, it gets so much better. I call my friend in the bathroom and I'm like, dude, you got to come take a look at my shit. And he's like, no, I'm not. I was like, dude, I think I'm dying. And he's like, okay, I'll be there. Roughly 5 seconds or something pass. I hear a knock at the door. It's my friend. I get up, pants around the ankle. I open the door, and it's this old lady wanting to use the bathroom. And I could only imagine her surprise because, like, it's me, pants down, just dick hanging out, just eyes wide because I'm peeking. And I shut the door immediately. I wipe up. I go outside. I go to my friend. I'm like, dude, what the fuck, man? I thought you were going to check. And he's like, there was no way I was going to check your shit. And then after that, I think we just ended up smoking weed. But that was, and what's nuts is that was only a 6-hour day.
Holy shit.
Well, you've done shrooms.
Oh
That
god,
just
yeah.
time
Yeah.
just slows to a crawl.
The peak is like the part where it's like time is just like how long has it been, and yeah, it's just you lose track of time. But afterwards it's like when you're coming down off the peaks, just that chill where you can. I like walking after coming down, but yeah. Speaking of the drive-through experience with mushrooms, I have a funny story that happened at a drive-through while I was on mushrooms. So I had went with Nick V to the drive-through at Hardee's, and I was no, it wasn't Hardee's. I think it was
Carl's.
Taco Bell. It was Taco Bell.
I was gonna say Sacramento doesn't have a Hardee's, do we?
No, it was, you said Carl's Jr. and Hardee's got on my brain, but no, it was Taco Bell because I was driving, he was sitting in the passenger seat, and the lady at the window, he had asked her something about Doritos Locos Tacos. And they get into this just long, heated ass conversation back and forth. And I'm just like sitting there like this, tripping. And in my mind, I'm like, they're fucking really sitting here having a goddamn conversation about Doritos Locos Tacos, and I fucking lost it and started laughing my ass off. The lady in the drive-thru got fucking pissed because she thought I was laughing at her. And yeah, we got her food, and hopefully nobody spit in it.
Well, and the crazy thing about that is, like, I remember I witnessed an argument on shrooms once, and it was one of those things, like, in my head, I'm like, is this really happening? Is it just me that's overreacting to this? Like, what's going? Yeah, shrooms. Oh my god, I only did them 3 times, and that was enough.
Oh, I've did a my fair share since moving out here.
I just
I've
don't like losing all function.
This is true. Like, you have to, like, when you're doing them, especially, you have to have a connection back to reality. You need that tether, whether it's just like a voice on the phone or something. Because I've had trips where, like, I was losing it. I was like, okay, I need to talk to somebody. So I called one of my friends at like 3 a.m. and talked to him for like however long my trip lasted. And yeah, it was the only time I ever did. I ate the mushrooms.
Well, that's why it boggles my mind when like parents will do mushrooms, because I'm like, what if your kid goes to the hospital? Like, there's no sobering up for mushrooms. Like,
Well, once the peak's over, I don't know. It's like after a certain point, you're kind of coherent. I don't know. I don't really think about it all that much. I just really go into my head a lot like that. And that's bad. That can be good and bad. But you do learn stuff about yourself on psychedelics a lot.
yeah,
Okay.
I learned I fucking shit a ton.
I know sometimes the day after a mushroom trip, I'll have some problems with my stomach.
My
I don't
friend
know.
used to smoke them, and I never understood that.
I had someone say that they had smoked them, and I'm just like, "What? How was it? I haven't tried that." And they were like, "Well, it kind of felt like it hit quicker." Which with those, if you eat them and you haven't ate, it hits you quicker. But if you have food, of course, it's gonna take longer.
Yeah.
But yeah, mushrooms are great. There's
Are you
definitely
are you listening, public?
they should legalize them everywhere. I mean, microdosing, man. Like microdosing's actually. I know back I was like microdosing a couple weeks, and it really helped me out with like my mood and stuff. It like brought me up when I was down.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause yeah, they give you the giggles sometimes. But that it's one of those things that I don't know, I don't have the want to do them all the time because like before I take them, a lot of times it's like, is this gonna be like a bad experience? Because I have had bad experiences on them, but
Yeah, my
just
friend Easton,
hmm
he ended up not like going off the deep end, like, shooting coke or anything, but he got heavy into mushrooms to where one time I was with him, he was carrying around a pound of mushrooms, just a
oh
pound.
shit.
And when I was like, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, I eat some every day. This dude was eating.
Let me carry my pound of mushrooms around. I'm fucking Super Mario. God damn.
Well, and then he did everything weird with them. He would eat little under an eighth every day.
Oh wow.
But then the powder at the end, he would make a tea with, because I guess the powder is supposed to be more potent. And then he ended up, I guess there's a mushroom that grows in Arizona that gets you fucked up. And he ended up just moving to Arizona for that mushroom.
Huh. That's crazy, man.
Yeah. So, Easton, if you're watching, I hope you're okay.
Yes. Now, speaking of eating them, you said you put them on the spicy buffalo chicken sandwich. Now, how I like to ingest mine is peanut butter.
I hear that a
It's
lot.
it's almost like eating a peanut butter and cracker with the crackliness, and yeah, that's the best way I could describe it. It makes it more bearable.
Well, I've
Most
heard that, and
definitely.
I've heard it like absorbs most of the peanut butter is pretty much all you taste.
Yeah, pretty much. Like you can't really taste the thing. Peanut butter is really good with that, with anything like it, with edibles too, like weed edibles, if you use the butter, a lot of times you get that strong weed taste in the edibles, and the peanut butter kind of cuts that out. I mean, it's a hint of it's there, but a lot of times peanut butter will just, cut it out.
Hmm.
Yeah. It,
Interesting.
yeah. At least in my personal opinion. Everybody might not share that opinion, but that's me. Let's
Yeah, if
go
you
ahead.
don't share that opinion, why don't you comment on this YouTube video? I'd be curious.
Yeah, if you don't share this opinion, you're wrong. No, I'm kidding. uh, anyway, I've got another topic that I've asked on every episode to everyone, and it's about poor life decisions. I know that I've made a lot. Are there any that you've made that you've like learned something from that you'd like to share or anything like that? Like, something that you made that stupid decision is like, okay, I know that fucked me up, so I shouldn't do that shit again.
Oh, not like I almost died doing something?
Yeah, that's that kind of like that. Yeah. That's I'm intrigued, sir.
Fuck, there's you got the right guy for this. There's so many fucked up things I did, man. I think the youngest thing that really I'm shocked I didn't die from is we had a pool growing up in the Bay Area, like a community pool.
Mhm.
And around it were all these was a fence with just spikes.
Yeah.
And we were playing tennis or something, and the ball went into the pool, and I was like, no, I'll get it. So I like climbed over 4 different fences of like really sharp spikes where if I fell they would have impaled me because they did cut my arm.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the earliest one. But other than that, drinking and driving like all the goddamn time. I am
Gotcha.
shocked I do not have a DUI. There was one time I was driving home and I was driving and the guy sitting in the passenger seat just was smoking weed. He could have
Yeah.
driven, but I was
He
like,
was.
no, I'm driving.
Oh wow.
Yeah. When I got drunk, nobody could take my keys except maybe the cops. But luckily that didn't happen.
Yeah.
But I remember driving and I was like, I think I got to puke. I think I'm too drunk. And he's like, oh, let me drive. And I was like, no, fuck you. And I just roll the window down and I puke as we're going down the street. I come in and I'm like, I think I'm good. And I was like, nope. And then I puke again and I ended up turning the wheel a little bit as I puke. So we kind of went into incoming traffic and then I swerved back out.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Drinking and driving, man.
I
That's
drove drunk. I actually drove while drinking. And my rationale for drinking a Budweiser while driving was like, it looks like a Coke can. That's how
I've
fucking stupid I was, man.
I was stupid too. Now I'd never got a DUI or anything like that either, but I have actually been pulled over while I was drinking and kind of intoxicated and got away with it. But it was like a crazy story because I was with my friend and we were riding. He was actually driving. I'm sitting in the passenger seat. He had never drove before in his life. I was like, I'll teach you how to drive, guy. Get in here and just drive. So, we're driving and I have a bottle of champagne I'm drinking and we pass a cop and he's like, I just passed a cop. You need to throw that out. He's going to follow us. I was like, okay. So I throw it out and we drive down. He's a little ways back. So we pull over the side and we switch drivers because he doesn't have a license. So we continue driving and we get to his house while the police are following us. We pull into his house, get out of the car, and are going inside. And the police pull up and like put their lights on and are like, hey. And at that point, they're coming up and talking to us. And one of our friends is with us and he is like extremely fucked up. Like to the point where like he's like dumb. And my friend basically convinced the police officers that he was mentally challenged. My friend's dad comes out on the porch and he's basically like, what are you guys doing here? And he's like, they're out of their car. What are you doing? And the cops basically fucked off and left.
Was this at your hometown?
This was actually in Alabama. This is Athens, Alabama. It was a small town. It was still a small town. It was bigger than the town I came from, but it was still a small town. Now the story continues because after that, his mom worked at Walmart, and we're like, let's go see your mom at Walmart. So we leave and go to Walmart, and we're on our way to Walmart, and the same two cops pull us over, like as we leave, and we get out the car. They're like, do their little field sobriety test. I pass it, and they're like patting us down. And my friend's with me, and my friend's gay. And as the pig, yeah, as the police are patting him down, he's like, "Oh, piggy, don't touch me like that. You might give me a boner." And at that point, the cops are just like, "Oh, okay, you guys are clean. Let's go." And we're just like, "Okay." So we get in the car, go to Walmart, and see his mom, and that was the end of that story with my close call and intoxicated driving.
Small towns are good for that, though. I mean, I know a bunch of people, in AA that they'll talk about being drunk in a small town. The cops are just like, make it home safe.
Yeah, kind of. I know that.
That
Yeah.
would never happen here in Sac.
Oh no, they'd probably take you and like beat you with the hose and throw you under the jail or something.
Yeah.
Like back home, I mean, in small towns, all you have to do is ride around and do stupid shit like that. It's like it's sad, but that's small town life. There's stuff to do out here though. Let's move on
Mhm.
from the poor life choices and get into another topic. Let's
Racism?
no. um what were I'm just curious about this. This is a totally random topic. What were some of your favorite toys as a kid?
Oh, dude. Sock and Bop 'em robots, for one.
Uh-huh.
Um, I mean, of course, we grew up in the age of Sega and Nintendo, so those were always good.
Yeah.
But as far as outside toys,
Yeah.
I don't know. That's kind of a toughie as far as my favorite outside
Yeah.
toy. I don't know. I mean, Frisbee, does that count as a toy?
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, I rode BMX bikes a lot. Does that count as a toy?
That's a bike. I don't know if that technically counts as a toy. Maybe if it's like one of those miniature kid bikes, it counts as a toy.
Oh yeah, no. Well, I
I
mean,
mean,
when you're 6 feet tall and you're riding a short bike, then yeah.
oh, how about like action figures? Did you go through that phase with action figures?
Oh yeah, we had the wrestling action figures. I had Undertaker. I had Kane. Um, my brother had like the Ultimate Warrior, Macho Man. Nobody had Bret the Hitman Hart. We had his sunglasses though.
Oh wow,
We bought Bret the Hitman Hart sunglasses. I do remember that.
that's awesome.
But yeah, I think every boy. I mean, if it's not GI Joe's, it's something to
Yes,
that effect.
yes. That and speaking of the wrestling toys, I remember the really old wrestling toys, the WWF ones that were totally rubber, and they like you couldn't move them, and it's like I don't know, they were cool. I don't know if you remember those. I don't know if you're as old as I am, but those, and I also remember Masters of the Universe, the He-Man toys. That
Oh
was
yes,
always
yes, yeah. We had
He-Man.
those too.
Yes,
No, but
He-Man.
I remember we also had the WWF. Now some of the people watching are like, "What's that?" That's what the World Wrestling Federation was. It's not World Wrestling Entertainment bullshit. Fucking
Before,
world, yeah, wildlife fun. Fuck
yeah,
you.
before those damn hippies had to come and ruin everything.
Oh my! And I mean, come on. WWF was way more recognizable than the World Wildlife Foundation.
True that.
I
I
mean,
didn't I didn't know, honestly know they existed until that whole ordeal happened.
yeah, it's bullshit. But we actually had the plush toys, or like the plush sort of, I guess they're like teddy bears, the ones you sleep with. I had Macho Man, and my brother had fuck, what's his name, the one with the paint.
Ultimate Warrior?
No,
He had
Sting.
Sting? Oh, okay.
Yeah, he had the Sting one.
Like the wrestling buddies. I think my brother had those, and I'm wanting to say he had a Hulk Hogan one.
Oh God, yeah, you can go anywhere without fucking Hulk Hogan. I got a question for you since we're on wrestling,
Okay.
because I've been watching this thing called Dark Side of the Ring. Have you heard of it?
I actually watched the one on Chris Benoit because I had saw somebody post something about it on Facebook, and I was like, that I wanna check that out. So I watched that one, and it was pretty good. I'm gonna probably check the rest of them out at some point.
Yeah, season 1 is great. Season 2 is going to be, I think, even better because it's been
Mhm.
better so far. Like the Chris Benoit one was amazing, but I was talking to Danielle because Mankind gets interviewed in one of them.
Oh wow.
Mick Foley, and I was talking to my fiance about the best match ever, and I want to know what your best match is. But my best match, hands down in history, will always be Undertaker versus Mankind, Hell in the Cell.
Dude, you can't argue that one bit. That's one of the greatest matches that I've ever seen in my lifetime. I mean,
Yeah.
that was just such a long match, and Mankind endured such punishment in that. Like he got his ass beat that whole match pretty much, and it was a good match. Like I've never seen anything like it.
I don't
Ever.
think we ever will. I mean, she pulled up a new Hell in the Cell, what it looks like, and Mankind got chokeslammed by the Undertaker straight through the fence. So
Yeah.
now they've doubled it up, so there's no way the fence will break. So I don't think we'll see something that good anymore.
That that probably wasn't planned, was it?
No, it
No,
was
that
not.
wasn't planned at all. That was just an accident that happened. I bet Vince McMahon was like, "Oh fuck," but he's like, "Ah, it's Mick Foley."
But
Mick,
what's insane is he wrestled for 20 minutes after that. He went down, he dislocated his shoulder, got knocked out. Paramedics checked on him, and then Undertaker just fucking comes down and they start wrestling again. It's insane.
he was like one of the. I don't know. I don't know. He didn't have like that athleticism per se, but he could take a fucking beating.
Yeah.
That was what he was good at, was taking a beating. He could
Yeah. Fuck,
some
he was by far, I mean, fuck Hulk Hogan. He was my wrestler of all time growing up.
like he's one of my favorite wrestlers just because like the amount of punishment. Like just like that as wrestling goes, like ECW, all the hardcore stuff was always what I enjoyed. Just because they would like actually bleed in that. It's like you got people getting barbed wire just ground into their head. I don't know.
But
It's kind of cool.
you'll like Dark Side of the Ring does one on fuck, who's the black guy that was in ECW?
Oh, New Jack.
Yeah, they do
I
a whole episode on New Jack, dude. It is insane. You have to watch it, especially because they interview him, and yeah, they talk about the mass transit match. Oh, so good.
I don't think I don't know about that match.
Oh
I
well, I'm not going to tell you about it. You'll just have to
don't.
watch it.
All I remember about New Jack, he was in the Gangsters. His tag team partner was Mufasa or something like that. And he used to come out to the fucking ring with a stapler and staple dollar bills to motherfuckers' heads.
Yeah, dude, that guy was nuts, man.
Dude, like man, a lot of wrestlers are freaking nuts from what I've seen. It seems like they're almost just as fucked up as comedians.
I would wager.
It's except more athletic, probably.
Yeah, but then you got to look at what comedian has left the ring and then done porn. I mean, look at China.
True. Didn't she die?
Yes, she did.
She did die. Wasn't she in a porn with X Pac or whatever his name is?
Yeah, the sex tape, that was the first one, and then she got paid millions to do. It was like a WrestleMania spoof porn, and then she was in an Avengers spoof porn.
Wow.
Yeah, it was what 100 Nights in China, I think was the sex tape name.
Huh. Looks like there's gonna be a bunch of stuff I have to watch after this podcast. Oh man. Let's what else do we have now? I've got I think one more thing. We've been through so much. It seems like it hasn't been that long, but the last topic I've asked this to a few of my guests. I think there's only one that I didn't ask, but what was your experience like in high school? What was that like for you?
In high school, it was great.
Great.
In high school, it was because we moved up here in 2000, so I was in the ninth grade, ninth or 10th, one of
Mhm.
those grades. And yeah, because I grew up in the Bay Area, I got picked on mercilessly. I was like this just short, fat kid. And then when we moved up here, nobody knew who I was then,
Mhm.
but I grew into my weight essentially. I had a huge growth spurt, so I
Mhm.
thinned out. It was weird because back in the Bay, people didn't accept my sense of humor, didn't accept I was like weird and goofy. Come up here and everybody just accepts it. And then I got an internship for a radio station and just turned into a big whore. I got fucking I wish I still had the pic. I got frosted tips like fucking Sugar Ray, dude.
Oh my god.
I had that for a whole year and a half, man. It was oh
I know there was that one picture that you had posted on your Facebook page where your hair was blonde and it looked like you kind of had the bowl cut going on.
that was in the Bay Area. Yeah.
That
That
was
that was my 8th grade picture.
okay.
I had
So
bleached my hair. That was actually right before I got a perm.
a perm.
Oh yeah, I got perm twice. The first time it didn't take because I bleached my hair way too much, and
Huh?
then I moved up here and my hair got long and I permed it up here and it looked like a burnt piece of broccoli.
Oh, that's funny. Now, did you ever rock the mullet? Speaking of hair.
No, my brother did. My brother did the not necessarily a mullet, but where it comes to like a rat's tail at the
Oh
end.
God, a rat
Yeah,
tail.
he rocked that, but that was also when New Kids on the Block rocked it. So like Donnie
Uh,
Wahlberg had it, so it was cool.
I had a mullet, and I thought it was cool when I was a kid. But my brother, he had a rat tail. I think rat tails are fucking stupid. Like when I was an adult, I looked at my mom and I'm like, Mom, thank you for not letting me have a rat tail. And she was like, okay. But my brother, he had a rat tail one time, and I used to give him shit about it because it looked stupid. I was like, it was like his name's Terry Lee. I was like, Terry Lee, it looks like your head's taking a dump because he had it all shaved and just this little patch of hair on the back. I'm like, no,
You
it
want to know
looks
what's
stupid.
hilarious? Is he probably looked in the mirror and was like, "I look fucking good."
Probably like me with my mullet.
Well, I had
Most
a friend, my friend Jeff in high school, had a mullet ever since I believe they said 6th grade.
oh
He,
wow.
he always had a mullet, and when we asked him why, he was just like, "Yeah, because it's funny. It's hair. I mean, it'll grow back if I don't like it." But yeah, he had it all through high school.
Yeah.
This, this guy also he wore a full face ski mask to school once, like with just the eyes and the mouth cut out.
What?
And yeah, they thought he was coming to shoot the school up. That was oh my that was a great morning.
Oh wow. Came to school with a ski mask on.
Well,
That's
I mean,
crazy.
to his credit, it was winter and it
Okay,
was it
okay,
was quite cold. Yeah, it's not
okay.
like it was the summer. That would be weird.
Yeah,
Summertime showing up with a
yeah.
ski mask.
This is like, yeah, without context, that's kind of weird. That's not as bad, but they still got onto him even though it was wintertime.
Oh yeah,
He,
yeah. I went to Wood Creek and they were very uptight about a lot of shit. Like I
huh.
wore a Hawaiian shirt unbuttoned, and they almost sent me home.
Ooh, showing a little bit of the chest hair that you probably didn't have then.
I had nothing. I still don't have chest hair, man.
Oh, well, sorry.
But I got titties. I got bigger titties than you, bitch.
Yeah, I've actually lost a little more weight. I was checking my weight at work today because we have those pallet jacks, and I feel like last I weighed was 269, and if it's not lying, I'm down to 240.
Well, good for you. I
So
was gonna say it looks like you've lost some weight.
yeah, I'm not really trying. I just I don't eat as much, and I actually been walking and exercise, and I try to walk once a day, unless I like work and I'm doing something physically, strenuous, and then I don't feel like walking. I've worked all day. Yeah,
Yeah, but you get your activity at work, so that counts.
yeah, yeah, definitely get my activity at work because I'm one of those people that when I work, I go get the job done. What else do you got for me? So if I get all this shit done, I can go home.
Well, yeah, not only that, it makes time go. I never understood people that would prefer to just stand there, and I'm like, time goes by so slow when you're not doing anything.
True. I've learned that as I've gotten older. I've learned that keeping busy makes time go by because you start doing something and just lose track of it.
Exactly.
Like we probably have here, because, man, this has been a good episode. I'm having a good time, man. I appreciate you. About ready to close it out. So plug anything you got going on, dude. Plugs.
Follow me on Twitter at the Big Nick J. I get into some craziness over there. Also, I'm on Reddit. I don't know if people can add people on Reddit. I'm still relatively new. I just look at it because Reddits are hilarious. If you're not familiar with them, definitely check them out. Gag on this podcast drops new episodes every Monday. We interview a different comedian. Sometimes we'll have comedians back, like we got you in May or June, right?
I think it's May 20th, I believe. I have to check my calendar, but yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
because you're
pretty
right
sure.
around the same time as Josh Means. I think you're the
Yeah.
week after. So we'll have David on. We're releasing our podcasts on YouTube. Go check them out. Our YouTube channel, Gag on This Podcast, and then Facebook, social media, Twitter, Instagram is Gag on This _pod. Facebook, Gag on This Pod. Go there, like us. Even if you don't like our podcast, just give us a like. It looks good. It doesn't, it makes me have better self-esteem when I see we're getting likes. Let's see. Other than that, fuck, this quarantine's got dick going on, man. Well, and what sucks is I got laid off in February. So this is like the perfect fucking storm of me to find a job. Nobody wants to hire.
That is true. Now, you're saying that you're the Gag on This podcast. God, I was going to ask you something. Oh, yeah. The bag of dicks. Do y'all still are y'all still doing the bag of dicks thing?
No, unfortunately, no. Bag of Dicks is a great company. Definitely check them out. The original Bag of Dicks. They were our first affiliate sponsor. They helped out tremendously with giveaways, and then they sort of fell off the face of the earth. Like, we tried contacting them. I recorded some commercials, and I wanted to see which one they would use, and nothing. So we now have a new affiliate sponsor, which is Ballsy brand Ball Wash.
Oh
yeah, Nut Rub Cologne, Ball Guard, Ball Wash. There's a sack spray. If you're quarantined and you don't want to shower, but you want your nut smelling fresh, look up Ballsy brand Ball Wash, man.
Oh wow. So is this a personal use testimonial of a? Do you use the product?
Oh, I do. I use it extensively. Nut Rub Cologne, not so much, just because I just don't take care of myself that well. But I have the sack spray. Think of it as like Banaka. You remember Banaka?
Oh yeah, like
the breast spray.
Yeah.
It's like Banaka for your balls, man. You're good to go.
Gold Bond's the same. It's like an Altoid for your nuts.
Well, they don't sponsor our podcast. So
okay, fair enough.
Fuck Gold Bond.
Actually, Gold Bond medicated powder needs to give me some money for just advertising them on my podcast.
I was about to say I was going to be like, no, don't fuck Gold Bond. We'll totally take your money.
Yeah. Yes. Give me an ad, Gold Bond. Gold Bond medicated powder.
I got to say, man, thanks for having me on. It's so nice to do a podcast where I'm not the one that has to research or deal with the editing and all that afterwards.
Well, I mean, not really a whole lot of research goes into this, but I just, like learning stuff about people and talking to people that are cool, interesting people.
Well, and I got to say, man, I'm happy to see the trajectory you've been on. I mean, from going from, a random guy with an accent on our podcast to doing shows, doing comedy competitions, you're traveling. I mean, that's pretty fucking awesome. So hopefully when the quarantine ends, you can just pick it right back up and keep it going.
Oh, I plan on it, man. Got some stuff I want to do when things come back. I want to put on my own show.
You doing any Zoom shows?
I haven't done a Zoom show yet. I mean, I'm open to doing one. I just need to reach out and talk to somebody about that. I really have a problem reaching out to people, though. Just something in my mind tells me that I'm bothering them when I'm probably not. But that's just me overthinking stuff,
Yeah, well, and if I heard you say you wanted to put on a show. If you ever need any help, we just had Derek Dozier on. I don't know if you met him.
Yeah, I've met him.
That dude is a wealth of knowledge when it comes to producing shows. Like on the episode that's going to be released Monday, we talked. He gave us tons of things we could do if we wanted to do like a live podcast recording with audience. He's like, you could do this game, or you can start it like this. He's just a fucking wealth of knowledge, and he's
Wow.
willing to, and he's willing to help anybody. He said so.
That's
If you
cool.
ever, I mean, if you just want to hit him up and just spitball with him, I think that'd be fucking awesome.
Maybe have him on the podcast because, is this even a podcast?
That's a good question. That's a deep question, by the way. Is this a podcast?
I don't know.
What the fuck else would it be?
I don't know. Well, I'll have to look up the definition of a podcast and get back to you on that.
4 white people talking?
There's not 4 of us, so this technically could be a conversation that was recorded with consent. Or was this consensual?
You get rid of your background, you're actually in a jail, and this is a Zoom from one of those fucking phones.
It's my burner phone. Somebody had to smuggle it in their prison pocket. I wonder, yeah, those phones probably smell pretty funny.
Hey, if it sends a dick pic, I'd do it.
Oh. Well, anyway, man, I do thank you so much for being on. This has been a great show, and I'd love to have you back sometime. I look forward to being on the Gag on This podcast again, and thank you very much, man. I'm going to go ahead and end it there, all right?
Sounds good. Take it easy, buddy.
All right, man. Thanks for watching, guys. If you liked the video, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. If you'd like to watch me play video games, you can go and check out my Twitch, The Southern Reject. I also have a gaming page on Facebook at Southern Reject Gaming. And check me out on Instagram at The Southern Reject. Thanks again for watching, and have a good day.